Good morning, students. Standing here today, I am very humble. I thank Dr. Agarwal for giving MCA to Delhi University because I am the product. Thank you, Dr. Goel, for such an inspiration journey about JIPS. And I think I am one of the very big supporters. Back in 2008-9, I recruited few students from here, and I think they're still connected with me. And I'm very proud to see how they're growing. So they've grown well. So each of those products are very, very good. And thanks to Suman ma'am, I think she's unwell today, but she's been always connected with me, and she's probably one of the reasons why I'm here today. I was given to understand that you guys woke up pretty early today, so I'll try to keep you charged up as much as possible, so that you don't sleep off in the next after that. So today is a technology day, and I'm quite confident with such able speakers, you're going to get a touch and feel of a lot of different technologies. And trust me, that's one square inch in which I've been playing for the last 25 years. So I can talk about technology till the cows come home. But I chose to stay different today with your permission, sir. And I asked myself that, okay, so if, as Dr. Agarwal said, that, I think a lot is changing. We also heard from him about IoT. I think, to me, it seems to be, one of the signatures that is going to define the next decade, to be honest. Goel sir, be aware of Google Home. That's coming your home, and your wife is going to use it very soon. So anyway, technology is creating havoc. And I asked myself that what is in it for you? Yeah? So in the next half an hour, I will not talk about technology, but I want to talk to you guys to see as to how you guys can exploit this scenario to your benefit. Is that fine? Yes. Great. All right, so let's begin. So I think India is changing. So from Mamta to Maricom, India has made a huge transition. Do you agree? Yes. And I think India has changed. And as Dr. Agarwal also said, this change is extremely visible in the last 10 years, right? Let's see some of them. Today, we have more than 1 million cell phones getting added. Every month. And trust me, this is a number some of the developed countries would have their jaw dropping and would like to gun for. Yeah? You have situations where every second kid in the block is an entrepreneur. So you have maximum number of entrepreneurial ventures getting registered today, which is amazing. So many new things coming up. Even the auto wallahs taking paid-up survey while waiting for their customer, So much of apps getting used internally. There used to be a time when we would do a research onto the internet, go to the local shop and buy. That trend has completely reversed. Yeah? And all this is happening in the last 10 years, to be honest. India has changed. Even the society, today's parents talk about LGBT very, very openly. So there is a lot of acceptance. This is interesting. Only a decade ago, BlackBerry used to be a fruit. And tweet is something that the birds did. Change. Too many jargons getting dropped in the last 10 years. 10 years back, I would never think that I would have a car which is giving me driving directions to my mom's house in Chinese. It's possible. I blog, you blog, he blogs, as blogging is the next big thing on earth, and I wonder what people used to do before blogging. Remember that time, not even a decade back, when you would click your picture, go to the studio, get it developed, and then get your photograph. And today, maybe your grandma has a digital phone, And chances are right that right now she's taking a selfie and WhatsApping you. Right? Today, there are a lot of new professions. Chefs are hot, thanks to all the TV serials. Image consulting is a paying profession. And you have storytelling as a profession. Check out on LinkedIn. Yeah, so a lot of new types of, kind of professions. Social networking, this is interesting, is a time-sucking obsession. And as if, who you friend on Facebook is the new social etiquette. If this was not enough, add texting with the cell phone camera feature, you get a parental nightmare these days. So India has changed, right? India has changed in the last 10 years drastically. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Great. Now, let's change the gear. And let's see, how does this impact the job market? Well, we are growing at 7%. Good news. But the industrial growth rate is at minus 2.5. You have 1 million Indians entering the job market every month. Let's do that math quickly. What that means is 33,000 or more than that, many new job seekers entering every day. And chances are bright, by the time this session is done, 4,167 new job seekers are out in the market. So that's the rate at which people are seeking new jobs these days and getting added. Cost rationalization, struggling agriculture, global slowdown are also creating or adding to this havoc. Yeah? Companies these days, even Agarwal sir also touched upon it, are getting into massive automation to drive productivity, profitability. But what that also means is that the number of new jobs openings are coming down. You had large manufacturers like, Nokia deciding to shift their Chennai plant and rendering more than 8,000 people jobless in 2014. You have Microsoft moving their operations to Vietnam just because India is no more a cost arbitrage. Goldman Sachs, Nomura, JP Morgan followed. So you have these informations available on public portals, and what you see is that India no more is the cost arbitrage. Cost is not the reason for which one would come to India to do their business, right? So even that has also changed. The big next big bang, the startups, even they're also in tight corner. Tiny Owl fired 200 plus people. Zomato laid off 400 plus. I recently heard there was a company called Roadrunner which folded, rendering more than 1,200 people jobless. So you have those many people also getting added into the job seeking market. Yeah? So it is arguably said today that 1 in 3 graduate is employed. Hold your breath here, because if you have a job today, chances are bright that your friend on your right side and your left side do not have a job. Now that's the situation, like it or not, that you are hitting the market with. And if this is not enough, the entire country today is plagued with skill gap. I was reading somewhere that you have today in organizations vacancies open for more than 8-9 months, and maybe Gaurav would actually support me here, purely because you don't have the right skilled people available. Yeah? And in that same article it said that if India had to close all its open vacancies in a day, 27 lakh people will get job. So what does this canvas look like, to be honest? You have a situation where probably the industrial growth is negative. You have a situation where agriculturally sluggish. You have a lot of new job seekers getting in the market, you have skill gap, and all these things are not an easy thing to look into. How does it feel? Overwhelming? Right? And trust me, if you are looking for a sign not to kill yourself tonight, calm down. You're not dead yet. And if you look into the history, you will also see that this is not a unique situation that India is in today. There have been instances in the past where successful people have converted these situations as opportunities. I encourage you to look into this paradigm and become aware of it when you hit the market, and also start equipping yourself slightly differently, because now it will warrant a complete different kind of thinking. And this is where I present the new game, where you make your competition redundant. The conventional armor will not fly today. You will have to equip yourself with new ammunitions, new ammos, and with which you should be actually making that as a practice of your life and hitting the market. Let's see them. There could be many, but I call them the 10 basic demandments of life, which probably there is a more, than heavy need today to make that or inculcate that as part of your life. First one being, anything that you're doing, finish that well. Become aware that 80% of the goof-ups happen in the finish line. We call it a last mile syndrome. Yeah? Now, let me pose a question here. Are there any volunteers in the students group who are part of this symposium, organizing committee? Raise your hand. Okay. Okay, so how many of us here were involved in organizing this day?
Actually, all this work is maximally done by the students.
Lovely, lovely. So quite a few, I see quite a few hands.
In every aspect.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let me ask this question to them. And how many months before you started preparing for this day?
2 months around.
3 months?
3 months.
3 months, 4 months? Now, for a day like this, it takes us 3 to 4 months of planning and execution to make it successful, right? Now go back and ask yourself how many days in advance you start your studies and preparing for your examinations. Maybe a month?
A week.
Somebody says no week. Yeah? Now that's what we call as student syndrome. Okay? And extrapolate this into your job now. Because very soon you will be in the market heading various organizations. You have a task which needs to be done in 10 days. You generally start working on that task on 8th day. That has to go. Right? The next thing, it doesn't matter what stream you are in, but have your strength list with you. Because today, if you see in the new age, even an engineer is also a great cook. You have Dr. Palasen, a great singer. That's the profession, right? So it doesn't matter what is your academics, and it does not need to be directly connected with your profession. But for you to choose the right profession for yourself, you need to know what are the strengths that you have which you can exploit, rather than actually gunning for a mundane job, because that will make you completely unproductive. Trust me, because when you get into an organization or you get into your own business, chances are bright that you will also face a lot of skill gap. So it's important for you to become a one-man army, and for that it is also important for you to stay motivated. And that's where, if your work is on your strengths, okay, if you're exploiting your strengths as your professional life, that's where you will enjoy most. Make sense so far?
Yes.
Thank you. So, market calls for a lot of disruptive opportunities, as I said. So, create your own disruptions, create your own opportunities, and go and run for them. Yeah? The next thing that I want to talk about in the new era is, I feel that a healthy mind stays in a healthy body. And a healthy body and mind is very much required to stay focused. On the contrary, as some of us were also talking, I was hearing somewhere that today's thinking has become one of the fads. So you don't shower for a couple of days in order for you to stink. Now I leave that to you guys to decide, because to me, you stink when you have a lot of bacteria in your body. And how that can be healthy, I don't know. But choose yourself. So stay fit and stay focused, because that's where you stay healthy and you can pursue your goal. The next thing where I want to ponder a little is, we all talked about that every second person today is an entrepreneur. But we also know that 86% of the entrepreneurial ventures today that are getting registered don't see the light of the day beyond the first 6 to 8 months. So one doesn't really know that what do we mean really for an entrepreneurship. To me, entrepreneurship first teaches you to live by the day. There is no tomorrow. So when you live by the day, you learn every day. And when you learn every day, you create today. Because that's when your tomorrow gets created. So my suggestion to you guys will be, practice entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship does not mean that you own a company. It's a discipline of life. Become an entrepreneur in whatever you're doing, and you will see that you are able to progress and maneuver your ship well in some of the backgrounds that we spoke about. The next thing that I want to talk about here is, today, in the current scenario, if you are, hey guys, I'm moving a bit, so am I audible? If, people at the back, yeah? Okay, thank you. So, if you are applying for a job, chances are bright that that job is not for you. If you are getting referred for a job, that's the job for you. And when you're getting referred, for you to get referred, you need to be networking. So that's the new game. So know what your college friends, what your school alumni are doing. Stay connected with them. Some of the people I know network even with their prospect customers to create their recall. So stay live and stay in their recall for you to be referred rather than applying for a job. Because when you apply for a job, chances are bright that for that single job, there are 20,000 resumes that is already pumped in the inbox. Yeah? The next point is very interesting, Bollywood today talks about swagger. Remember that song, Banno Tera Swagger? Yeah? I connect that with arrogance. And I say that it's important for you to abort the arrogance and stay humble. Because when you stay humble, that's when you're open to opportunities. And trust me, friends, opportunities don't knock at the front door. They always come from the back door. And you need to be open to be able to connect with them and take advantage of that situation. Moving on, today in the new India, you don't talk about 3 years or 5 years from now. What you talk about is what is it that you want to do maybe a month later. So my suggestion to you would be, create short goals, short sprints as I call them, and work towards achieving those goals, because that achievement, one after the other, will actually make you go and reach your ultimate goal. This is important. While you are networking, also keep sniffing about all the green shoots, because the conventional jobs and the conventional way of doing a job does not hold true today. We also saw so many new ways and so many new kind of opportunities opening up. So know the green shoots. Sir talked about IoT. I personally feel that's a very, very powerful thing. And trust, if my dream is right, then probably that is going to define the next decade. Now question here is, are we ready for IoT? Are we ready enough for IoT to be inviting us? So become ready and know all the new things that are happening. You want to say something? Okay. All right. Last but not the least, don't go for a job. And by job here, I mean, whether it is your own business as an entrepreneur or you are part of an organization. Go for a role. Because when you are actually accepting the role, does not matter how much that role is paying you, you are able to see the big picture. When you are able to see the big picture, you are able to join the dots and start preparing yourself for that role. And trust me, when you prepare yourself for that role, everything else comes. The designation, the pay packet, the boyfriends, the girlfriends, everything else will follow. But prepare yourself for the role. Right? Now, there could be many more, but to be honest, when I look into the entire scenario that we spoke about a time back, and it definitely to me poses a very, very big challenge to be able to successfully maneuver my ship into this kind of a scenario of jobless growth, as I call it. And in that jobless growth, I personally feel that these are the 10 basic demandments which, if made as the principle of life, probably will help us maneuver our ship better. So with that, I ask you, are you ready for this challenge? Are you ready for this challenge? Yes. Good. Are you ready for this disruption? Trust me, the entire country is looking up to you because you need to disrupt and you need to break the existing mundane ways of thinking and doing things and come out with new ways and new careers. So are you ready for this disruption? Good. Are you ready today? Yes. Lovely. Let's begin. Thank you. So with that, I close my session. If there are any questions, sir, if I'm allowed, maybe another 5 minutes or so. So we can take up a few questions. Rest, feel free to write me on this email ID. I don't promise an immediate response, but within the next 48 working hours, you will definitely hear back from me. Any questions?